Reality is a game, and you make the rules. Oftentimes, people will just walk around like mindless NPCs in this game, right? If you play a game like GTA, whatever it is, and you just walk around the street, you like see these, I don't even know, NPCs is the only term I can use. Just roaming around the street, bump into them, and just a generic response. Oh man, watch out. You're an NPC if you don't create your own game. In life, we are also often forced to take the traditional game. The only problem with this is unless you're extremely talented and you work extremely hard, you can't necessarily win this game. The corporate ladder is too fulfilled. The status ladder, in terms of jobs or whatever it is you're looking for, is too full, sorry, in order for you to play that game and be truly successful. If it's a game you want to play, sure. If it's a game you enjoy playing, sure. But again, do you want to play it? So create your own game. And again, the lighting is extremely difficult to read my notes. Okay. I teach a lot of gamify. What that means is gamifying your life, making your life more of a game. You go through life and you go through life and you realize it's just the same mundane actions every day, and then you just wish for the weekend, wish to watch that movie, wish to, and everything. Like, that's even more mundane to me, but especially to you, it's kind of like you just watch that movie, get it over with. What did you achieve? Nothing really. Do you want to achieve anything? Probably not. But is that your thoughts, or were those thoughts programmed and conditioned into you? And I'm not like one of those Matrix guys, at least not officially yet, but you just have to analyze and self-analyze yourself. If you're just wandering around with no self-intelligence, no wary of wherever you want to be, you're never gonna like, those holes in your life are gonna be filled by another, right? So I can come and sell you something, sell you a car, whatever. The only reason I can sell you a car, and a car that you don't want, is because you don't even know yourself. If you knew yourself, I wouldn't sell you the car. But if you didn't know yourself, then it's easy, right? Like, it's kind of like going into it. You know what? Let me just stay on topic, stay focused. The whole idea behind a game is that you level up. So, again, I'm not shaming anyone that goes to uni or whatever, wants to go to uni, but when you go to uni, you fill out your timetable, you do what you do in order to get a job that you like. And this process, this traditional process, it doesn't require much leveling up. Sure, you can retain and learn more, but is it something that you like? When you learn what you learn, is it applicable to what you learn in real life? And is it valuable enough for you to learn it? These are not questions that I answer. These are questions you have to answer for self. Last video I talked about journaling. Completely watch that before this one, because I can't necessarily talk on this subject unless you know your perspective. At least for me, uni doesn't have that for me to level up in. Where is that to level up? Right, and I know I'm talking in the corniest way possible, but you need to level up in order to play the game. People are stuck at level 1 thinking that they're on level 100, and they're playing a game that, and they're challenging the world's hardest boss, or the game's hardest boss, and then they start fighting and fighting. They keep losing. They wonder why why am I losing? Why am I losing? You're still stuck at level 1. You're playing a game you haven't defined. You're playing a game set out for you. So you're never going to be happy and fulfilled when you don't level up, or when you keep losing to these level 100 demons in a dungeon. You're not gonna feel as excited as, if you were leveling up. So that's the perspective here, is that if you do not level up, then the point of a game is completely useless. Now this brings me to XP. Again, this gamified term will come a lot in this channel, but experience is key and vital in almost every game that you play. there's XP. So Fortnite, COD, whatever it is, and trust me, I play games. There's XP. So you need to build XP along the way. Let's say the game that you're trying to play is social. You're trying to get social status. You're trying to get social relationships. In that term, or at least in that concept, you're gonna have to level up. So you have to go outside. You're gonna have to make friends. You're gonna have to, you know, although I don't do it, go to parties. You have to connect with people, right? Network, whatever. But that's the key in order to make those friends, get that XP, and then level up in that skill. Otherwise, it's just mundane to do so. So again, I mean, experience and leveling up is completely key in order to play the game that you'd like to play. But let's get to the key part, is defining the game. Now, if you've watched the last video, it's about journaling. You must define the game that you're going to play. Otherwise, it'll be defined for you. So as an example, if your focus is on making money, then your game has to be structured into making money. So that's your perspective, that's your goal, that's everything you think about. In The Way of the Superior Man right here, it talks about aligning 100% of your life towards that goal. It's much more important to just focus on strength. If you have none, then agility, speed, whatever. It's exactly the same thing. If you have, well, if your perspective is around making that, you know, you're making that bread, then you're gonna have to focus on that only. There is no other option. So I know I'm talking extremely vague, but I'll give you specific examples. When you run into an NPC on the street and they bump you, whatever they do, and you just despise them, like, in a sense. That despise grows from your own perception of that person. And your perception of that person doesn't have to be bad. You just see it like, this guy's an NPC. He doesn't really amount to anything. He doesn't have much of a physical body. He feels low energy, right? So you summatively NPC. That's how you think of it. And it's with that exact perspective that you will live your life, unless you define who you are. And that defining comes from your particular, like, you have to be particular in the way you see things. The specifics come from the journalization. Now, when you journal, you just journal A, B, C, D, and you understand yourself in that particular extent, you'll always carry yourself in the manner not of an NPC, but of an actual human, right? You'll be like, okay, I'm confident, okay. And some of you guys are walking around discomfortable. And this is the exact same point, is you have to be comfortable in your own skin via journaling. Now, I know I talked about reality as a game. However, in order to define the game, you need a book and a pencil. And in order to do so, you have to be like, what problems am I facing in my life today that I can change? So these are very face front, and it's exactly given to you by this. It's like, okay, I don't have money, boom, need money. Okay, I don't have status, I need that. And then it's just something very simple. It's just oftentimes you go to school or whatever it is, and you don't have a reason, because it's not necessarily a problem. And because it's not a problem, it's not a challenge. And because it's not a challenge, it's not a game. It's a game only if there's a challenge ensued. So, if you take a look at Pokemon, and I know I find this annoying, really. When you play the game, when I was a kid, I played the game, and you just walk through the grasslands, and inevitably a Pokemon would come through. Be like, oh, challenger accepted, whatever. And you had to face the challenger. It's exactly like that. Every moment of your life, because it's 3D, you walk through your life, you try to set a goal, but you have these obstacles along the way that you're gonna have to overcome. And that's the point, because if you don't overcome the obstacles, you'll be stuck at one. You'll be stuck at one, and it's by your own self blindness that you just like, I don't want to deal with this obstacle. You're still gonna play the game. Like, if you lose, you're still gonna experience him later. If you lose, you're still gonna experience them later. You can't just set everything aside. So the whole perspective is journal your way through this. I know I talked this to a last video, but reality is via journaling. So if you journal your experiences, what game you'd like to play, defining the game that you're playing via the obstacles that you're experiencing currently, I'll guarantee you that you'll solve the problems. Except that's on your hard work and that's on your frequency. And based on that, you'll solve the problems, you'll get through them, and then you'll live another obstacle through, and that's the inevitable end. Yo, algorithm, like and sub.